5:59 East Coast time.
3, 2, 1.
Technology.
We are going live, you guys. Facebook Live. Hey, there's one right there. Hi. Love you too.
Yes.
Exciting. You're live.
Almost there.
We're almost there, you guys. Countdown. Ready for broadcast.
Okay. Perfect. We're on. Okay, everybody. So we're going to keep this short, sweet, and simple. And if you see me moving around, it's because we got 3 different things happening at one time. We got Periscope Live, we got Facebook Live, and we got Zoom over here. Are there any other things that we're missing here?
Okay.
We're going to get moving. Every single Monday, we decided to have these talks to start our week off. Kris and I do this on a regular with each other. However, the talks have been so good between us. I mean, real talk, juicy stuff has been so good that we decided, why don't we join the conversation and let everyone join in on these topics? And then we take off through the week and get some of our money right and our mind right. So we took a play on the word and called it, let's make some money sense, people. Like common sense, but money sense, make some money. And so what we're going to do today is begin our every Monday check-in with you. And this is not about us talking to you. We're going to bring up the subject. We'll give you a little something. And then we're going to open up and hear back from you all. Answer 1 or 2 questions. Give you a challenge for the week around your money or something personal. And when we're done with that, we're going to hop off the call to keep it short, sweet, and simple. So let's make some sense out of money and life. So today's topic, Kris, is what happens when you are expanding. You recognize that you have expanded in your mental capacity, in your spiritual space, in your heart space, but your environment has not expanded. What happens when your environment has not expanded, but you personally have expanded? Let me break that down. Whether it's in your home life or your business life, your career life, your professional life, your family life, or your love life. If you have found that you've begun to do so much self-work that it's time for you to move on, or you have expanded beyond what you're currently in, and you happen to look back, Kris, and sometimes when you look back, it seems as if the back of you, the environment you're in, is shrinking. When really, they're not shrinking, they're just not growing, and you have chosen to grow. Now, I want to open up the discussion around that, because I don't know if any of you watching or on Periscope or Facebook that has been in a situation where you know that inside you have outgrown this thing and you're done with it.
Right.
Whether it be life, a relationship, your financial situation, and you've expanded, but your environment has stayed the same and it seems like it's shrinking. Now, for me, Kris, this has happened to me, you guys. When in my mind, I expanded. I could see my life different. I could see my social life different, my love life different, my money life different. And sometimes when I can see it different, I start feeling different.
Right.
And then when I feel different, I go off and I purchase some stuff.
Right.
As if I'm already in my expansion. Exactly. So, you know, everybody watching, let's just keep it real. Have you ever gotten a little extra money in your pocket, and in your mind and in your space, you felt like, wow, I'm going after that lifestyle. So you go and purchase something. that's over there in that lifestyle, but your pockets haven't expanded yet.
Exactly.
Your personal heart is expanded. Your mind has expanded, but your wallet has not expanded. And that's real talk, Kris. What happens to people, when they're out buying things and they can't afford it yet, but in their mind, they want to be over there. They want to vision over there.
It's like taking one step forward and then two step back, because when you buy that thing that you really can't afford, and then all of a sudden now you're in debt, and then you got to buy another thing, and then it's a perpetual motion that's spiraling you the wrong momentum of really where you want to go. Right?
Yeah.
So you got to grab a hold of what is the goal that you want to get to. You can see it, but then your lifestyle has to be in alignment with it in the steps and the actions that you take every day with your money spending and saving.
I know for me, Kris, there's been times where my life has been rocky and my heart and desire was in an expanded space. I desired to be somewhere else, but financially I just wasn't there. But I went out shopping, and I would see like that bling earring or that coat or just something, and I would get it. And then my personality is, if I get it and tried it on and look good, I want to get it in every color,
right?
And it felt good. It was like when my life was rocky, sometimes the shopping and the spending would give me this feeling.
Yes. And it's momentary, it's addictive actually, because it's a momentary moment. When you spend, you get like elevated, and then you want to get a blue one and a red one and a green one. And then you've lost what was the purpose of even going there, right? So backtrack of what it isn't what you're going to look like on the outside. It's making sure that your core is in alignment with what the spending is. So you got to backtrack a little bit and hold back that lifestyle and live in the lifestyle you're at, so that you can actually accumulate the momentum energetically, because money is just energy, right? And so when you grab a hold of that energy, then you have a hold of it, because we're making this conversation healthy and happy around money, not,
exactly
distressful. But it's distressful when you're going for all the outside spending things, right, to put you back into that space.
It's so funny, because the times when I have gone out and spent on something that looked beautiful, felt beautiful, it had a rich feeling, then I had a false sense. Now when I look back on it, guys, it was a false sense. I had a false sense of feeling rich, although it didn't match my pockets. Sometimes when you've expanded in your mind and you have this desire to be somewhere else financially that you're not, you think material things represent that feeling richness, and you find yourself in debt.
It's a scarcity mindset. It's like, I call it the millionaire scarcity mindset, because I have a lot of millionaire clients that are in a millionaire scarcity. So they make millions of dollars and they spend millions of dollars, right?
Yes.
Because their mind isn't in alignment with the energy of the money. So it rules over them instead of them ruling. Then it becomes a horrible thing, when all it is something that allows you to do what you really want to do.
Yes. Right? And it's no judgment, guys. So it's like those of you watching, it's just a conversation. You're going to join in on the conversation in a minute. We're going to open up the lines and let you ask questions. But, it's no judgment if you're watching. Like, this is just real talk, guys. Right. No judgment. And that's why I'm willing to share the stuff that I've done, that I know I've done, and not be ashamed about it now, because I recognize so many of us do this kind of stuff, Kris. Right. And, I'm really thankful to God that I have you in my life, because you're someone who was birthed into wealth. You manage people's wealth. And someone like me who doesn't come from wealth, but is wealthy.
Right.
You hear what I said, you guys? I didn't come from wealth, but I am wealthy.
Right.
Because wealth isn't always just about money. It sometimes is about the space that you're in mentally, the space you're in your relationships. And we have a wealth relationship. This relationship is worth more than money, because there's no judgment here, and I can be real with Kris. I mean, not long ago, Kris looked at my finances, and she was helping me to create a profile. And, you know, real talk, Kris goes, I never worked with anybody that didn't have money. So she really didn't know, you know, how to speak to me in a way that I would understand it. And this started these amazing conversations between us, because I looked at Kris and I go, Kris, you know what? There's a lot more needs out in the world than there are people with a lot of money. And so we created this legacy shifter piece that is designed to bring our partners along. Errol's one of them in our life, blessing me, teaching me how to be wealth and grow it without the money. Can you mentally wrap your mind around that? Because most of us, when we say wealth, Kris, we immediately jump to this money, or we immediately jump to material things that feel like wealth. Like, really think about it, you guys. This is deep. Because when you think about wealth, then think about a hotel that you stayed in. Think about a hotel that represents wealth to you. Maybe the Ritz. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we were in London, Kris. And that's where the Ritz first started. And we walked into one of the original Ritz. And it just felt like wealth. But, you know, you got to be real with yourself and say, does this make financial sense to my wallet?
Right, because the first place that you have to start is real wealth is inside, right, of who you really are. And when you are solid in that, like what you're saying, you are wealth, has nothing to do with money, then you're already where you're supposed to be. You're not trying to accumulate to get something, right? But you are where you're supposed to be. Then when you're in that solid place, then you can actually use the material wealth to grow what you're trying to create in the world, right?
Wow, yep. Thank you. That's so good to me, Kris. I listen to everything Kris says because my life has been in transition more than one time. I mean, I was birthed into poverty level and put myself through college. I knew that I was bigger, larger in my environment. The topic today, if you just joined, is what happens when you have expanded, but your environment is shrinking? When your environment seems to stay the same, the people around you have stayed the same, your community has stayed the same, your environment has stayed the same, your industry has stayed the same. But you have done enough work to where you've expanded.
Right. And you've got, it's like, it's a DNA change because like you said, you were born to where you were born, and I was born into a daddy that taught me how to save when I was single digits. So it was instinctive, and I really never realized that I had that till Tia and I started talking, because it was just a natural, innate thing for me to do, to think that way. But so it's a DNA. You can recreate your DNA around money. You don't have to be impoverished. You don't have to live in that lack consciousness. You can live in an abundant consciousness now with $0. When you're in that consciousness, all of a sudden the momentum changes, your life changes, and things start to happen that you never would imagine.
Wow, like, let's make this practical.
Exactly.
So here's a practical thing, you guys, because this is my life. So here's a practical piece. If my budget that I have left over for the month is a couple of $100, $200, $500, $1,000, if that's what I have left over, if my immediate reaction is to go out and purchase something that's going to make me feel good, feel rich, feel wealthy, then I might want to stop and check where I'm coming from inside, because it needs to make financial sense while you are growing. This talk is all about making sense out of life. C-E-N-T-S, sense. How do you have common sense when it comes to money and your heart and how you feel? Do you already feel rich in a 1-bedroom house, apartment? Does it have anything to do with looking at your bank account and not having that amount of money to live the lifestyle that you're off creating? You know, this is deep, because I can remember back when I heard this prosperity message a lot,
right.
just across the world, different industries.
Right.
And sometimes they tell you, speak it into existence, vision it. And the challenge that comes with that is you begin to expand in your vision, expand in your feeling and your words, and then you go off and buy something to match that, but you don't have the money to afford it.
You're not one, and you're not in alignment with what that is, because it's something. It's always something outside of you that keeps you on a hamster wheel. So no matter how much money you get, you keep chasing the next shiny object, and then I need a 5-bedroom house, and then I need a motorboat, and then I need and it's perpetual. It never ends. But when you land in being wealthy to start with, then you can actually recreate the DNA inside of yourself and make the changes you need to be wealthy, but materially too, so that you get that little bit of extra money. Instead of spending it, you put a little bit away, because you have a financial future. You have a living legacy, not something when you die, a legacy that's happening right now while you're alive. So you take the little bit and you stash it away for those future dreams and for all those things that you're visioning.
And then let's talk about the right now thing, because this is Monday.
Okay.
We'll be talking back with you next Monday.
That's right.
So from now till next Monday, what's the practical piece that you guys are off living? So for me, I want you right now to imagine. I know those of you watching can remember a time like this. For me, when all my bills are paid, I don't have any debt, have extra money in the bank, there's food in the house, I have an abundance around me, and I still have some extra. Okay, you guys watching, remember what that feels like. You guys can go back over time, look back over last month, the month before, the beginning of the year. Was there ever a time this year where you had a good month financially? Everything was paid. You didn't owe anybody any money.
Right.
You had some extra money in the bank, and you had all you needed.
Right.
That feeling of no worry.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That space is where you can begin to create and flow into others and be excited and have a different energy, because you're not worried about this lack of.
Exactly.
So if that's you, and you know your mindset has expanded to something larger and you desire something greater, feel it where you're at.
Right.
By making sure your financial house is in order.
Exactly.
So that you personally feel good without the material piece.
Starting there. Right. And working from that spot, you're going to be centered and not be caught off guard with the shiny things, because you'll be solid in that place, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you may not be able to find it necessarily, right?
Right.
So I want to give everybody a little homework. Okay? That I want you to journal for a week. I want you to keep track of everything that you spent for a week. It's not a big deal. Just keep track of it. At the end of the week, you're going to make a little T. On one side, you're going to have the money that you really need for food and clothing and all bills and things like that, not clothing necessarily, and discretionary and non-discretionary. Add up both columns. I'm telling you, you're going to find money. It's mind-blowing how much we just kind of like a Starbucks here and a dinner there. You will find money. That money you find on that one column, I want you to take that and stash it away. Stash it away for the dream that you're building, the vision you're building. See, I see a lot of people make a lot of money and they spend a lot of money because they're not empowered by it. They're really in a scarcity mindset, even though they have lots of zeros behind that money they're making. They're not in the right headspace.
Okay, as you were talking, I was just now thinking from a business standpoint. So Kris just gave us some homework around our personal lives. Not everyone who's watching has that as an issue. Mm-hmm. Some people are watching make millions already. Some people already have mastered that skill set. Okay, but now let's talk business.
Okay.
Because if you are watching or you're on this discussion, we're gonna open it up for everybody in a minute. We want to hear from you all too.
Right.
Now, if you have a business or businesses with an S, you could take that same homework and look at what is your business spending money on weekly and monthly.
Exactly.
Does it make financial sense for your business? If you're putting on an event, if you're creating a new product, does it make financial sense for you to go off and do something, create a commercial, pay someone a whole lot of money to do a website, up level something that you're doing when your business is not currently making that and or doesn't have a rainy day fund? Does your business have a rainy day fund?
Exactly. So you could do that same homework with a business. So there's all the levels. It applies to the same thing.
Same skill set.
Same skill set.
So that's the wealth, because once you have the skill, then no one can ever take that skill from you. But see, it has to start with the small things. It has to start with the coffee.
Right.
With the coffee you're buying or the small things you're buying. You can look at your personal life and how you're spending money there, and then look at your business and look at how you're spending money in your business. Because I bet you there's some habits there that cross both worlds.
Exactly. And then we go back to the beginning again. Where are you starting from? If you start from wealth, you're alive and well. You're breathing. You're wealthy. You're here. That is huge to be alive right now on this earth. Start from there. That's wealth, right?
Yes.
Ground zero.
Yes.
Then when you're going shopping, you'll be able to almost step back before that urge because it's addictive. It is a compulsive, addictive behavior that we all fall into on whatever level, whether it's food, going out to dinner, having certain kind of foods, getting certain kind of clothes. It's addictive because you get that moment of feeling really hot or cool or whatever, and it gets addictive. So this process allows you to backtrack, step, look at it again and go, does my business really need this right now? Or am I chasing the shiny things, right?
Yes.
Does my personal life really need this now?
Yes.
Or am I chasing the shiny
Yes. It's no judgment, guys. So we're at 6:21. We always want to keep these calls to 30 minutes max for now.
Right.
And Tanya posted something and said, that is so true. Cut a ton of stuff that just didn't make sense out of my financial sense in my business. And it was just not even necessary. So she was looking at her business and say, is it really necessary for me to be doing this right now? Did it make financial sense in my business for me to be doing this right now?
Right.
So Ivy, we'll open up the lines now and we can hear from everybody. We could probably do 1 to 2 questions.
Oh, yeah.
Hi there. Hey, who's this? Someone you have a question?
I do.
Okay, go for it.
She's like, huh? You've got 2 on the board?
Do you have a question? Okay, we'll move on if you don't. You can think about it. We'll be back next week.
Cut the junk, someone said.
Cut the junk.
David said, cut the junk out.
Right.
That's a good one, David.
Right.
That's an easy way to put it.
Cut the junk. Right. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Debbie, did you have a question?
Hi, this is Martha.
Hey, Martha, we can hear you. Go for it.
Did you have a question, Martha?
Okay. Yes. So, what I struggle with is the money comes and goes, and I don't even have anything tangible to show for it.
That's exactly what we're talking about. So when we pay attention to it now, even just talking about it, you're going to be more aware of it by us talking about it.
And I want to answer this way. And you guys know I do personal development, so don't take anything personal. Funny, huh? But really, really, guys, let's just be real.
Okay.
And I'm talking to myself, Martha, like literally no disrespect, no judgment, but I'm talking to myself. I've been in this space more than once. I grew up in that. Let's be real, everybody on here. We know how much we're going to be making each month. We know how much money we have. It's not a mystery if the month comes to the end and we have nothing left, if we spent more than we have. Like, it's kind of, so we got to start, all of us who are in that space. If you're in that space where you look up and the money's gone before the month is up, and you're like, I just can't keep it and there's nothing to show for it, you got to change your conversation, because it's not necessarily true. You do know how much you make every month, and you do realize that it's not there. That's a personal development thing. That's a subconscious piece that
I know, but like,
are intentionally, for whatever reason, you're intentionally staying in fog, in confusion. Oh my goodness, I don't have anything to show for it. You know exactly where your money is coming from and where it's going. However, so it's not mystical.
Right.
It's just a matter of kind of not judging yourself, not being ashamed, but really stopping to say, here's what I have this month. Here's the wealth I'm starting with.
In general.
We start with abundance here in the United States, you know.
Exactly.
We do have, like, compared to other countries that we've looked at and been in, we do have something. You know, and we got to look at how we're managing the something that we have.
Exactly.
You know?
And by doing that, by being accountable with the way that you're thinking about it, then you're not going to be ashamed to pay attention for a week of what you're doing, right? Like I said, keep track for a week of what you're spending. And Martha, on one thing, is what is it? Your discretionary, right? Things you really don't need, and the things that you need, like your gas and your house and all those things. And add that up. You're going to find money. I guarantee you're going to find money, Martha.
And don't wait for big money.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We wait because we think we don't have 100, 1,000, 2,000 left. I don't care if you do your homework and you recognize you only have $20 left.
Right.
I swear, you have to make right with even the $20 you have, and change your context and the way you're relating to that $20 that's left over.
Yeah, the ACA.
Exactly, because see how bad it makes you feel that you're in that confusion to, like, in a spin where you never can get a hold of it, because it's like never there, and it's always elusive. That you kind of take a stand, because your money is your friend. You can begin to talk to it. It's just energy, right? It works for you. If you learn how to manage that energy, it works for you.
So the MondayMindCent, CENTS for today, it sounds like manage your money, don't let your money manage you.
Ooh, boom.
I think that's what today is all about. What happens when you have expanded, your mindset has expanded, but your environment seems to stay the same or is shrinking?
Right.
What do you do with what you have? What resources you have available to you?
Exactly.
This is amazing. We're at 6:27. We always want to go to right at 6:32. Honor your time. I don't know if we have time for any other questions. Ivy, did you see any questions in the chat box?
Or
not really? Nope.
Okay, so we're good. So, can you repeat to us the homework?
Okay, we're going to check the homework. And for a week, you're going to keep a journal, a money journal of what you spend. Very simple. And you're going to have you're going to add up, you're going to have one column, which is discretionary, meaning Starbucks, going out to dinner, new clothes, hair being done, whatever, right? And then the things you need. Like your food, your house, your gas, and then you add both columns up, and you're going to see some numbers there, right? You're going to find some money. Now, I also I don't want you to just see the numbers, but I want you to take a portion of that money. That's going to start your 6-month rainy day money. Some of you are already hip to this, but you'd be surprised. 70% of Americans would have a really hard time to find $10,000 in an emergency. 70%. So I challenge you guys to get your 6-month rainy day money. I don't care if you're a multimillionaire, you don't have any money. Start there. And there's the money. You're going to find it when you do the journal.
And even if you're watching this and your personal finances are in order, you've pretty much got that skill set of managing that, we want you now to stop and look at your business. I want you to pay attention to your business ledger.
Exactly.
How much are you bringing in, that's sales, versus how much you're spending weekly. Let's just look at 1 week. Let's not do large projections. Let's just pay attention to the energy that you're giving out in your money, in your business for 1 week. So if you heard the homework, if that doesn't apply to you and your personal house is good, personal finances, then now look at your business.
Right.
I want you to track your business spending for 1 week. We're going to be sharing this when we get back on next week. This whole month, every Monday, the topic is what is happening when you have expanded, but your environment seems to be shrinking.
Right.
What do you do?
Right.
And how do you make financial sense when you're in that season?
Exactly.
We're at 6:30, everybody. We promised you 30 minutes. We love you all. Thank you. Keep talking to us on Facebook. We stay at this thing. We're building and we're looking at our finances, and we will be with you next Monday.
Legacy Shifters.
Legacy Shifters. Bye, everybody. Make money mindset.
Thank you.